So, hello and welcome to the weekly Thursday broadcast. If you're watching on YouTube after the event, you can watch live while I'm broadcasting at 8:30 p.m. UK time, and you can ask questions as well through Skype. You can call in or you can write a question through Skype. So, what is non-duality? Well, the message of non-duality is a really unique message. Or even like the message of waking up in general, let's say as a whole, it's a really unique message. Unique as in it's not talking about something in this world, in this seemingly form reality. So we go to school, we go to college or university, or we get a job, we build a career, we may have friends, have a social life, meet a partner. We aim to settle down with that partner, get married, have children, progress in our career, our chosen field of work, whatever that is. We aspire to buy the house, the nice house we can own, the car, the holidays with the family, to get medals or rewards to show our effort, our good work in our field. And that's kind of the way humans seem to, like the way human life is presented. That's how we live. That's what's important to us. Like reaching these milestones and achieving these milestones and being successful in these things, acquiring these things. And that's just the way it is. For the majority. And even in the religious or spiritual communities, it's well, either you're a pastor or a preacher, and then you're in some kind of position in your field, or you're what do you call it, like I don't know what you call it, not a customer, but you know, the people in the pews. Yeah, you're a member of that religious community. And then there isn't a sense of working your way up to become, I don't know, a pastor or preacher. Maybe in some there is that desire to work their way up, but usually you're just a member, or I've forgotten the word now. But yeah, and I guess you're working towards heaven, I guess. Being the good person, the good member, and following those laws of that community, saying the right language, that concepts of that community, and then you being get into heaven, I suppose. So in that way, non-duality, or this waking up description, it is unique because it isn't about any of those things. It isn't about you as a human acquiring or achieving. In that way, it's entirely different. It's like there's a focusing out towards these achievements and acquiring, but this is more of a turning around and a looking in. It's an inquiry in, an illuminating of in. And the question is, who is living, or who is looking? Who are you? So it's a pulling apart and examining of this seeming person who would acquire all these things, who's trying to achieve all these things. It's a complete turnaround and a complete inquiry into who that someone is, and whether what it's looking for is actually going to be found in those things. I'm not sure why that retrospection happens. I don't know why this appears to some humans, this message of looking into who you are, into what this is. I assume for a lot of humans who end up in this communication, there's been an attempt to achieve those things, and there's been no happiness found or satisfaction found in those things. Or there's an inability to even achieve those things, maybe. And so maybe there's depression or other mental, emotional issues. And so there's extreme suffering. And then they're looking for something deeper, are looking for an end to that suffering. And then spirituality or religion appears, non-duality appears in that looking for something else beyond the achieving. Looking for beyond this limitation of a me, of a person. So this message is spoken beyond that person, beyond the thoughts of me, beyond the ideas of me, beyond the feelings of me. Beyond the illusion that there is a separate person, a separate someone living. And what it's communicating is that this is it. That what you long for isn't in achieving, isn't in time, isn't in future, isn't in past, isn't in having or not having, or feeling or not feeling, or thinking or not thinking, or believing or not believing. What you long for doesn't live in opposites. Doesn't live in the mind, doesn't live in the intellect, doesn't live in knowing. Doesn't live in feelings of happiness or feelings of sadness or feelings of anger. Doesn't live in having lots of money or having no money. Doesn't live in having lots of friends or having no friends, having a partner, having no partner, having kids, having no kids, having a job, having no job, being successful, being a failure. Doesn't live in any of these opposites. And yet it is all opposites. It lives as everything. It lives as everything. So what does that mean then? It means that this is it. It means that what is happening is it. And that nothing is lost or lacking. Nothing's gone missing. That nothing is needed. That doesn't mean as a human instrument there isn't needs. So the instrument needs to eat and sleep and have friends and clean the house or whatever. But who you are, or what this is, needs nothing. What you are isn't a body, isn't an instrument. These needs and wants and responsibilities aren't yours. They aren't anyone's. They are what they are, innocently appearing. The reaching for a drink is innocently appearing. The feelings, the emotions, the thoughts don't belong to anyone. The responses, the reactions don't belong to anyone. And this is the freedom. This happening, this movement of life happening, this freedom of life happening. The innocence of life happening. It's totally innocent, it's just happening. Where is the owner of this? We can project and imagine there's a God in the sky, just behind the clouds. We can imagine an owner, a creator of this. It can only be an imagination. I can understand the comfort having that imagination provides, the comfort of there's something looking after me. When you feel small and limited as someone, the idea of this being something bigger, something parent looking after me, is very comforting. And that's just what seems to happen in the majority of humans, this sense of separation begins, this sense of I am someone limited, I exist as something limited, I've lost wholeness, and now I exist as something separate. And so there's this deep longing for the unification again with wholeness, and that's projected out there as a God figure, a parent, a partner, a job, whatever it is. That sense of needing the other half, the lostness, the losing of wholeness, and feeling incomplete. And you could say that spirituality or non-duality offers that wholeness. It offers, or the mind here is it offering that wholeness, that it can finally find that lost half and feel whole. It can unify with that lost half and then feel complete and whole. Like it can be heard, the wholeness can be heard, not heard as in heard, but just heard in some way, the wholeness. But it isn't being offered, it's just heard, it's resonating, the wholeness. But it isn't being offered to a separate half. Because that separate half was never really a separate half. It's resonating beyond that illusion of a separateness. That this is whole. You are whole. There is wholeness. And this dream of you isn't true. It isn't true. It isn't a reality. It seems to be appearing. It seems to appear. This dream, this illusion of you, this illusion of separateness, it seems to appear. And while it's appearing, it's uncomfortable. When that feels as if that's who you are, this person, this you, it's uncomfortable. But there is wholeness here. There is wholeness here. And so there seems to be and unveiling of that illusion, like the clouds parting and there is sky. You can say that there's always sky, regardless of the clouds, but when those clouds are felt to be a reality, then that's what's happening. But it's uncomfortable when you are a cloud, when you believe you are a cloud. This identification that happens. So this is pointing back to that sky, the ocean, wholeness. Not the level of mind, but beyond the mind. And it's right here. It's not in time. It's not in future. It's not even when the clouds part. It's here. It's here. You can only be here as this, as everything. Hi, Prachi. Oh, yes. Hi, Rebekah. Why is it that there's no one sounds scary to the me? Why does it sound scary to the me? Well, the me is always scared anyway. The me is afraid. If it's separate from everything, it's a limitation. It could be killed at any point. It's already afraid, it's already scared. It already has that fear woven into it. Like it's agitated, it can't rest, it's always having to move. It's always trying to protect, trying to look out for the next threat, trying to know, to provide it some form of safety in this crazy, chaotic universe. So inherently, there's fear in separation. But then to hear that there's no one, why does it sound scary to me? Because it undermines it. It like it robs it of something. Hearing that there isn't anyone, it robs it of uh, its fundamental belief that it exists. It robs it of its control. It robs it of its security. All that it believes and thinks and invests in. If there is no me, it loses everything that it believes it has, or it believes it can have. What do the non-duality speakers mean? Who knows? It's what do they mean? It's everything. The chair, the coffee. It's everything. It's everything. It's everything. It's everything. What you look for is here. It's everything. The chair, the coffee, everything. The camera, the screen. It's everything. The feelings, the thoughts, the sounds, the tingling in the feet, in the legs, in the bottom, in the hands, the breeze blowing, the light. Thank you, Prachi, for your questions. That's all the questions. No more questions. I realised I haven't spoken about the title of the talk. Oh well. So feel free to write or call in. My eyes are closed, but I'm still available for questions. Hi, Lucas. Dobry West. I don't know what that is. No. Maybe good evening or something. Lucas. Good evening, I was right. Do you think the life is paradox? How is it possible there are paradoxes? How is it possible there are paradoxes? Well, a paradox is impossible for the mind or intellect to hold. That's what a paradox is, I believe. You can't hold it in the mind because it's two conflicting things that can't be together. So it's called a paradox. They kind of cancel each other out. You can't have two two things. So in the mind, it's either this or that, this way or that way, opposites. And the paradox is this and that simultaneously, which the mind can't comprehend or even grasp. So how is it possible? It's possible because this isn't about the mind. This isn't limited to the limitation of mind, of this or that. That's how it's possible. When all you know is mind, there's limitation. So I think those Buddhist Zen koan things are about the mind being like shocked by a paradox. It kind of like stops the mind. It can't comprehend. You can't comprehend it. So it like stops the mind. This isn't a mental thing. It isn't a denial or a suppression of the mind either. Maybe at some point there is that practice of trying to still the mind or see through the mind. But the mind is such a small aspect, or thoughts of a small aspect, thinking of what this is. But yet thinking is such a dominant aspect of our human lives. Identification with thinking and thoughts, that's where I live, in the mind. That's where past and future lives, in the mind. So it must be that my salvation is found in the mind, and it's not true. It's not true. There'll never be an arriving in the mind. There'll never be an arriving in future. It's impossible to get there. The idea of there is a dream, so it's impossible. Thank you, Lucas. Very good. Thank you, Kochana. Thank you, Kochana, Rebekah. Okay, so ding, 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 ding. An hour is up. I've got a bell somewhere, actually. An hour is up. There's no more questions as well, so. Thank you for joining. Thank you, Lucas and Prachi, for your questions. And I should be here again next Thursday at 8:30. Thank you. Bye.